Wait, does it seriously only take 10 minutes to get into the park? Huh. I still never thought about how long it takes. When I continue the journey to Yuri's house, my mind becomes preoccupied on tomorrow, the festival. Mainly about everything that's gonna happen tomorrow. I know we're supposed to be performing tomorrow, but that seems a bit scary. What if I end up embarrassing myself or the whole club? I don't think I'll be able to live with myself. No, stop. Don't think like that. Nothing too terribly bad is gonna happen tomorrow. Please, I hope to God we're not jinxing it. I'll just have to power through it, but I still don't know what to write for it. The anxiety in me builds up even more as I realize how much time I really have left before tomorrow, but it subsides after a moment or two of silence. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that right now. Hanging out with Yuri today is more important. Let's see how this turns out. Maybe being around her will give me an idea of what to write tomorrow about. Man, I still can't believe I'm going through with this crazy idea. This had better be worth it. After several more minutes of walking, finally arrive at Yuri's house. A memory of a few days ago hits me when I walked her here after school once. Happily setting my bags down next to the front door, I pull out my phone to check the time. 2 minutes early. Alright, nice. It looks like. I hope she won't mind. Putting my phone away and knocking on her door 3 times, I stand still and wait for the door to open. The happy feeling inside me is starting to become erratic. In this undetermined amount of time, just at the thought of being able to spend time with her again. I'm still not entirely sure what me and her are going to be doing today. Or what are we going to do today? How is she going to react to everything? The chocolate bar. What if I have in store... Wait, what? What have I have in store at my... The door opens, which slightly catches me by surprise. Ooh! Different casual clothes for Yuri. Oh! Once fully open, there she stands, but with a white t-shirt and light blue shirt over top, instead of her sweater I saw on the lake. I'm taken aback at how great it looks, how she looks. Oh, hello, Midas. I hope I didn't leave you waiting too long. I literally just got here. Oh no, I just got here, no worries. Hand goes to the back of my head out of nervousness as an awkward silence plays out between us. I see you brought what I told you about. I did. Her gentle smile never leaves. May I come in? Oh, of course. As she continues to hold the door open, I take a hold of my bags that were on the ground and enter her house. This version of okay everyone. She closes the door and I take my shoes off. I take note of the inside of her house and but be amazed at how clean everything is. Didn't she say something about being a neat freak the other day? Midas? Uh-huh. She's standing in her kitchen. This confuses me as I would have expected her to be heading towards her bedroom or living room or something for us to work on the project. How about you make some tea before we start making the decorations? Oh my god, yes! I don't even dare hide my happiness from her. That sounds great! She smiles warmly at me. Very well then. I'll get everything ready. As Yuri starts to prepare our tea by making a teapot and filling it with water, I take a seat on the couch in her living room. The smell of popcorn throws me off guard a bit, but it's nothing too bad. Oh, the popcorn. Opening up my backpack, I pull out the chocolate bar and look at it for a bit. I had originally planned to share this with her, but I have an even stupider idea. Chocolate bar in hand, I get up from the couch and walk over to the kitchen to see that she's preparing the tea bags for when the water is all done. Place the chocolate behind my back so she doesn't see. I quietly walk up to her until I'm in her vision. When she looks over to me and we make eye contact, she stops at what she's doing, yet doesn't say anything. Looks like I have to get the ball rolling. Presenting the chocolate bar I've been hiding from her, I purposely try to make myself sound a little more cute than usual. Look what I found on the moon! She stands there and stares at it for a moment, like she has no clue on what to think of. I'm starting to wonder if this was really a good idea. After a moment, she takes it from my hands and expects it. I didn't know they had my favorite brand there. I'll admit, this is a different one from what I bought at the vending machine the other day. But I have no clue whether she's being dead serious or playing along with me. She then starts tearing off the wrapper, breaks off a piece and eats it. A small smile creeps onto her face. You didn't have to bring me something. I really appreciate it though. Her words and her smile make me blush a bit. I thought you and me could share it. I think she's starting to blush too. Oh, how thoughtful of you. My hands go to my back. Heh, I suppose. Oh, the water's boiling. Huh? A weird bubbling sound tears me away from her gaze as I look over the stovetop. Huh, I guess she was right. I take a big step away from her stove. You know what I do. Without a word, Yuri takes over to her stove, or walks over to her stove, and turns off the correct burner so the flame and water die down. After observing everything with my hands behind my back, I look back at her nervously, now feeling a little bit guilty for getting in her way. Sorry if I was just in the way just now. As she puts on a smile that makes me not worry so much. No, you're fine. Thank you again. I lightly nod at her. Of course. I then step away from her and out of the kitchen so there's no possible way I'll be a bother to her, but something rather important comes to mind. Stopping myself by taking a look at what she's doing, it looks like she's still trying to prepare the tea for us. Something tells me if I were her, I wouldn't like it if my concentration was broken by someone trying to get my attention. I'll be considerate and wait on the couch for her to be all done. A minute passes and now she's pouring tea for the both of us in glass cups. She even went as far as to put both cups in a little tray. Just in sight of her walking over to me with the tray in both hands. I don't know, there's something special about it. It's almost like how she was a few days ago in the club when she was preparing tea for everyone. She's now sitting across from me, setting the tray down on the coffee table we're at. Believe it or not, she even went as far as to put the rest of the chocolate bar on the tray. This reminds me of a few days ago at the club, with me and her at her desk, as she was trying to explain the whole adjective adverb thing to me. This makes me feel really happy. Reaching over to my left to grab one of the cups, it looks like she had the same idea rather. As our hands bump into each other. This stuns the both of us for a little bit, as I quickly retract my hand away from hers out of nervousness. And the music faded. The room is silent as we both seemingly don't know what to do. But the silence is broken by Yuri, who looks a little apprehensive. But why? Go ahead. Why aren't we moving at all? She told me to go. Oh, I think I know why. Ladies first. A smile with a comparable dumb style to mine shows up on her face as I keep my hands to myself. She grabs her cup and I grab mine. There, no problems. We both take a sip at the same time. I love this warm feeling that comes from this. The taste is rather mild, which makes everything more pleasant. A smile on my face becomes a little more dumb than hers at how this makes me feel. After a moment of bliss between the two of us, I remember what I wanted to bug her about in the first place. It reminds me. I've been meaning to ask. Where are we going to make the decorations? In here or in your room? She seems to ponder that thought for a while, remaining silent all throughout with the occasional tea between me and her. Would my room be fine? Did you hide your knife collection first, Yuri? Yeah, I've got no problem with that. Very well then. I'll be bringing the tea set into my room for the first project we'll do. I'm left speechless. What does she plan on doing with that? It'll be a surprise to me, that's for sure. She then gets up from where she's sitting, walks into her kitchen, grabs a teapot, several tea bags, and some newspaper. And with even more questions as we're making our way towards Yuri's room. On the way there, her thermostat grabs my attention for whatever reason. Looking at it thank goodness that you put Celsius because I don't read Fahrenheit. It shows 20 Celsius. That's very cold. Yep, can't confirm, but she keeps her. What do you mean her AC is off? That's very cold for me. I would hope so. It's October. Oh well. Upon entering her room, the first thing that catches my attention is the giant rolled up paper sitting in the corner of her room. Yuri, on the other hand, sets a tray on the floor, places 2 tea bags in each of her cups from earlier, pours hot water in them, and lays down the newspaper so it covers most of her floor. I still have no clue what's going on. There, that's settled. Let's get started. It is after hearing that when I realize I'm still standing in the doorway. Yeah, we should. Making sure to gently close her door as to not disturb anything. You really have to put gently as to not disturb anything. And then find a spot close to her bed and sit cross-legged on the floor. It would have been nice if her floor was carpet instead of linoleum, as my feet are now cold, but I'll live. So I have a few things planned that we could assemble together. What do you have in mind? I think we should do some atmospheric enhancements for the room. Okay, I kinda had an idea that we're gonna be making stuff considering what she made me buy and all. But what else she said is throwing me for a loop. I raised my eyebrow at her out of curiosity. What? Why is the last one? Well, having candles lit in the room would create a unique atmosphere, wouldn't you agree? She does have a point. Yeah, that's right. Here, let me show you. She gets up, grabs a candle on her nightstand along with a lighter and places it on the floor between us. Silently observing her, sitting down and lighting it, I try to make out what the name of the candle says. White Jasmine. It takes a while, but the room starts to smell better. This goes almost hand in hand with the relaxing feeling from tea earlier. There. Now imagine 3 or 4 of these in the classroom. Don't you think that it would make our guests feel more at home? It's already working. Definitely. Now Midas, another thing. What do you think of putting black paper over the windows with all 4 candles being lit at the same time? The thought of that runs through my mind as I try to picture how the room would look and, well, I'll be honest, having the room be nearly pitch black sounded scary at first. But since you mentioned candles being lit, it doesn't sound too bad. She looks confused. Scary? What about it seems scary? Because it's dark! Just being in a room full of our classmates with it being pitch black, anything can happen. To my surprise, Yuri scoots closer to me and places a hand on my shoulder. Oh my! Her smile makes me feel more at ease. I asked her would be no need to worry. All of us would be there in case something bad happened. I don't know what to say back. Looking into her eyes and there was every possible response that comes to mind. All I can do is smile back. After a while, her hands return to herself and her smile slowly fades away. What could she be thinking about? Midas? Oh, I guess it's time. She looks away slightly before speaking. Did you watch the opera last night? I nod. I did, what about you? She still isn't meeting my gaze. I did, but how did it end? Wait, you didn't watch the end of it? How come? She takes a moment to breathe in and out. Gotta be patient with her, especially because we know the context. I fell asleep towards the end. She fell asleep? Well, she didn't judge me at all when I fell asleep in the classroom 2 days ago. Leaning on her nonetheless. I shouldn't judge her. I understand. Yeah, Draco ended up winning the duel after all. That part where he was cornered really got me nervous. It's no wonder why I couldn't watch the rest of it when I was a kid. At one point in time while I was talking, I noticed Yuri's expression returning to a happy, more relaxed one. Did hearing that really make her that happy? Very happy. Well, that's a relief. I'm glad it ended that way. I nod again. Me too. Something more important comes to mind. Yuri? Yes, Midas? Her tone of voice is as pleasant as it should be, but there are more important matters at hand. We haven't started making decorations yet. You're right. You'd better get started. She then gets up from the floor and walks to the corner of her room while I remain sitting. What's the first plan of action? She grabs a giant piece of paper in the corner along with some spools of ribbon and lays it down on the newspaper in front of us. Well, we're going to be tea staining this piece of paper, as it will be used for the banner we're making. Despite Natsuki bringing cupcakes, I want the banner to be one of the first things that our guests will see when they enter the room. Oh my god, that's an amazing idea! But that doesn't explain the newspaper though. I end up pointing out of response, to which she looks down. Oh! It's so that we don't make a huge mess on the floor. I can feel a light bulb click on in my head. That's actually kinda clever. I mean, don't you do that? Whenever you have an arts and crafts project and you're doing it on the floor, and you gotta at least have some scratch paper in there. Yuri beams. The first thing I see isn't the first thing most people see A door instead of a wall? A door, first thing they see. Looking over the spool of ribbon on the floor, the gears in my head start turning. An amazing idea comes to mind that I have to share with her. Hey Yuri, I have a good idea! She looks at me curiously. Oh? What is it? The first thing people would see would be the door, right? Oh, we're the one who's gonna come up with the ribbons. With the whole... What's that again? The papers in the door. Do you have any extra paper lying around here? What does the paper and the door have to do with each other? I grab one of the spools of ribbon to help demonstrate my idea to her. Take some paper, write some stuff on it, tape it to ribbon, and put it on top of the doorway, I guess. And there you go! First thing people see. Another silence plays out between us as Yuri seems to be deep in thought. I don't remember the last time I spoke like that in a while. That just might work. Even if it's as simple as... Oh yeah, door curtain. There's the word, door curtain. I start counting my fingers to think of how many letters welcome has. 7. 7 ribbons that spell out welcome. I think that would catch people's attention. I think I like that idea. But I think we should save that until after we stain the banner paper first. It will take a while to dry after all. Knocking out 2 birds, 2 stones with 1 bird? You're gonna throw the bird? I like it. Well, I can't argue with that. You'll have to show me how it's done. I've never seen this before. Of course. That being said, she carefully hands me one of the teacups. Looking at it shows the water is a much darker color than what I'm used to. This might be not safe to drink, don't do it. Next she positions the paper so that it's perfectly in front of us. Watch carefully, okay? Right. She removes both tea bags from her cup, takes one in her hand and presses it against the paper and brings it downwards, almost like she's handling a paintbrush. And sure enough, the area of paper that was covered is now a different color. That looks much easier than I thought it would be. Hey, that doesn't look too hard. How did you find out about this? I overheard one of the art teachers taught me about this and... well, I couldn't help but eavesdrop. Pretty sneaky, I suppose. Heh, not bad. Should I start doing the same with my side? Yes, please. Once we get both our sides done, we'll have to flip the paper over and do the other side. I happily nod at her. Not a problem. Following her example, I try my hand with my respective tea bag. And just as easy as she showed me, this shouldn't take too long at all. And there we go. All done. Me and her finished our sides around the same time. Yuri looks over to inspect my work. Good work so far. I knew you'd pick this up quickly. I mean, this wasn't really that hard. Either way, I can't help but think about how cute she's being. I must have been too distracted or something, as I didn't even notice that she flipped the paper around us. She then dips her tea bag into her tea/paint and begins to work again. I should probably do the same. After a moment or so of working, something else comes to mind. Hey Yuri? What is it? This kind of reminds me back when I was a kid when my mom would help me in any art projects I had. She gives me another warm smile. That's sweet. But I hope this doesn't feel too childish. Oh no, not at all. It just reminds me of happy times. Yuri stops painting for a moment, whereas I keep up with my side. That makes me happy. I'm glad you were able to come over and help me with this. I probably would have been here all day if had you not been able to over... That's a pleasure. The pleasure is all mine. Anyways, it feels nice to help a friend out, even if it's just the simple things. Yuri resumes painting with her smile intact. It certainly does. Before I know it, I already finished what I assume is my half. There wasn't an imaginary line drawn to equally divide his paper, so I can only guess. Sitting back for another breather, take a breather, and inspect my work, it doesn't take long for Yuri to finish her respective side. All done, I'm guessing? Yes, all finished. She says that as she's taking care of the teacups and tea bags. So what's next is the paper door idea I had? Yes, the door curtain. Once she's done with taking care of her stuff, she looks over to her closet. Hang on, I think I have some origami paper and a marker in here somewhere. Sure thing. She gets up and starts rummaging around in the closet. Part of mine is surprised that she doesn't have this in her bag, and another part of me has to remember that she has told me she's not a hoarder. I probably shouldn't be watching her, but my eyes land on her harp that's on the closet. I haven't thought of that in quite a while. Oh, maybe I'll ask if she could play something. Once she grabs a paper and marker, she then walks over towards her bed and grabs 2 knives from a display rack on the wall. Here we go! Oh my goodness, the sudden realization as the music just pauses. How did I miss that? The display rack shows 4 available spots, which now inhibit 2 really neat looking knives, all of them looking like pocket knives. I can't have looked at how enticing they are. After a while, my attention is averted to Yuri, as she sits down and places everything on the floor. Aren't we gonna ask her about this? I don't know you had all those. That's so cool. Yuri doesn't say anything about that, instead she nervously smiles. This would be used to cut the ribbons to length. Would you rather use a pair of scissors? Nah, I'll be willing to try something new. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever held a pocket knife before. Dad never let me touch any of his when him and Mom were around. May I see one? She hesitates a bit before speaking. Okay, but please be careful. Taking a hold of the knife with her right index finger over the flipper, she pushes downwards, which results in the blade projecting upwards at lightning speed. Using her 4 fingers as a resting place, she carefully hands the knife over to me. Looks like she knows what she's doing. Whoa, how did you do that? Oh, I can show you how it's done. With her thumb on the inside lock and her index finger over the false edge, she manages to bring the blade back inside. Taking hold of the knife shows it's no ordinary one. It's black with a purple outline, a purple dragon etched on both sides, and it's the size of a middle finger. A purple dragon? Huh. She takes my right hand and shows me how to properly hold it for opening, which felt kinda nice. I mean, she's holding her hand. Try pushing it downwards now. Doing as she says brings the blade up to life with a unique clicking sound. There's this weird feeling of power behind it. I can't help but stare at it. Oh, I accidentally pressed spacebar. The blade itself is nothing special, just plain black with the words Dragon Strike printed on it. Taking a glance over to Yuri, shows her intently looking me down, holding one of her knives. I end up quickly looking away, as I'm not too sure how to feel about that. Worried, very worried. Carefully placing the knife on the ground, laid away from me, I reach over to grab some ribbon and some paper. I think it's about time. What do you plan on doing? She seems to snap back into reality and compose herself. I'm going to attach some ribbons to the bottom of her banner paper. Almost like a flare, right? She nods. Yes, something like that. Neat. I'll get started with my project. With that, Yuri grabs her own knife and ribbons and we begin our respective jobs with only silence that fills her room. Minutes pass and I'm on third to the last piece of paper. I gotta admit, using a knife for this job instead of scissors is definitely different, but it's a nice challenge. Both trying to get the job done properly, all the while trying to be careful. It's made me do some critical thinking, which I enjoy. Oftentimes I would hear Yuri humming to herself. It honestly doesn't really bother me too much. I'm certain we all have things like that we do to keep ourselves sane. I know I sometimes fidget my hands around or bob my head up and down while I'm walking. I think it's some weird sense in me that's telling myself to do something or keep moving. Putting that aside, I'm so focused on what I was doing that I haven't really seen what Yuri's up to. Hey Yuri? Yes, Midas? Looking over to what she's doing, I become distracted by the knife she's using. Its handle features faux wood paneling, and the blade shines a bright gold. I'm almost seeing about 30 or so pieces of ribbon taped on the paper. That only partially answers my question. How's everything doing on your end? It looks like reality smacked her in the face after asking that, as she's looking around herself, inspecting her own work. I'm almost done finishing with taping the ribbons onto the paper. I probably didn't need to ask her, but hearing her confirm that is nice. Neat! And yourself? I look down at what I've done. Just 2 more to go, then I'll be all done with this. Her smile returns. That's great. Did you want to take a break once you and I finish up? Well, I wasn't expecting that. Well, now that I think about it, we did quite get a bit done. I'm not opposed to that idea. That doesn't sound bad. Besides, this shouldn't take too long at all. Very well then. About a minute or so after getting back to this passes, and something I thought of earlier makes its way into my head. Something feel like I should ask Yuri. I've only got 1 more to go. I can work and talk at the same time. Another thing, what's that? I can feel the nervousness already. I can't believe I'm asking her this. I hope it's not too much to ask, but I haven't heard you play in a while. Play? After drawing the letter E on both sides of the paper and quickly tapping it into the ribbon. Taping it, sorry. I get up from the floor and grab her harp from her closet to present to her. It's not as heavy as I thought it would be. I mean, it's not supposed to be heavy. Yuri takes her harp from me, if that's alright with you. She seems to be lost in thought yet again. Yuri is the kind of person who, from what I've seen, likes to think before she speaks when given the chance. It only seems like the golden rule that I allow that to happen. Plus, I kinda really like her to hear. Sorry. My words are jumbled. Plus, I kinda really like to hear her play again. Well, I suppose it wouldn't hurt anything. You're right though, it has been a while. Maybe something short. I can't help but smile as my nervousness inside is replaced by excitement. Anything is fine really, thanks Yuri. Smiling once again, she starts getting ready to play while I walk over to her bed and make myself comfortable. It's a lot more comfy than I thought it would be. Music is gone. Now she's gonna start. I hope she won't mind. For once, everything feels okay. My mind isn't racing. I'm in the room with a girl I like the most, spending time with her. I don't think I could have asked for anything better. Laying down on her bed. Don't you have like, I don't know. I kind of consider that kind of unethical. The comfiness, the relaxing feeling from tea, and how wonderful she sounds is taking its effect, all hitting me at once. Maybe I'll close my eyes for a bit. Oh no, we're gonna sleep in our bed. It's break time after all, right? I can feel myself slowly dozing off by silently yawning. Tomorrow's gonna be the best festival ever. What? Everything feels weird. What time is it? Where am I? This doesn't look like my room. Getting up and looking around shows. I'll put this blanket on. Yuri put her blanket on me? On us? Oh my! Yeah, Yuri's room. How long did I sleep for? Where did Yuri go? Where is Yuri? Looking around shows no signs of her. My project and hers are left untouched, but finished. This is starting to make me feel uneasy. Don't tell me she's cunning! Her closet's still a mess. Her light display is untouched. The one I used is still lying on the floor, but hers is... Oh no! We're gonna... We might catch her in the act. Where'd she go? I don't see it anywhere. My curiosity getting the better of me, I pushed the blanket aside, got up from her bed, and quietly leave her room. My nervousness increases with every step as I tiptoe down to her stairs. As I'm getting closer to the living room, I hear something coming from downstairs. It's a consistent sound like water coming out from a faucet or something. That must mean someone's here. Suddenly approaching the living room, I'm able to pinpoint that sound I just heard. It is the water running. Oh no, don't turn that off, it's gonna be like that! Hearing that clears up some things. But what could she possibly be doing? And why did you take your knife with her? Peeking into the kitchen shows her cleaning up her knife from earlier. My voice quivers a bit while trying to get her attention. Yuri? She turns off the water, grabs a paper towel, and looks over to me. Hello, Midas. I didn't expect you to wake up so soon. Maybe I shouldn't be reacting right in front of her, but she's probably drying off her knife or something. Don't worry about it too much. What's going on? Oh, what is this? Is this like a library, a separate room or something? I mean, her tea is here, some books I presume are here. Oh my goodness. On it is a grilled cheese sandwich perfectly cut in half. 2 glasses of ice water and her pocket knife from earlier now retracted. My eyes are glued to everything she has sets the tray down as she sets the tray down. I thought that I would make a little something for us, much like when we were at school. I was originally going to bring it up to my room for us. That explains everything. Dude, she made one of my favorites! Grilled cheese! Oh, you didn't have to do this. I take a seat facing towards her and smile warmly at her. Thanks again. It's no problem. Me and her are happily enjoying our break time in silence, biting into our sandwiches at the same time. There's a familiar kick packed away in there that I know all too well. Pepper Jack. This girl used one of my favorite cheese for this. She's a keeper. Our keeper. Comfortable silence doesn't last for long, however, as Yuri speaks up once again. Hey, Midas? What is it? She looks apprehensive for whatever reason as she sets her sandwich down. You don't think it's weird that they keep knives around, do you? Oh, that's why. No, I don't think it's weird. It's definitely unique. But they can be really handy to have around, like to open letters or to cut tags off of stuff, or you could sharpen pencils with them, or you could pull Legos apart with them. God only knows I could have used that as a kid. My bad, I didn't mean to ramble. I think her worried look was going away until I was talking. Or while I was talking. I'm glad you think that. I became interested in them a few months ago. There's just something so fascinating about them. She then picks up her sandwich. Understandably so. They can be pretty practical to keep on you at all times. I didn't know how cool they can be as well. I don't know why, but I'm starting to wonder if she keeps one in her bag. Thank you for not judging me about this. Yuri, I wouldn't be very good to you if I were to do so. Well, that was a thing I just said out loud. She quietly giggles herself, then sets her elbow on the table, props her head on her hand, and looks in my general direction. Oh, you're too kind. All I can do is smile and nod at her, and maybe blush a little bit. It doesn't take too long for the sandwich time to be over, which makes me go, oh man, great time's over, in my head. I keep my eyes directed on hers. So, what's gonna happen next? Yuri grabs a hold of the tray and brings it towards her. All we have to do left is to write a quote on the banner. Okay. What do you have in mind? She gives me her always cute smile. Oh, you'll see. I can't wait to see what she has in store. In mind? What are those two? Both. She then gets up and walks towards her kitchen to take care of everything. When she's done, she looks over to me again. Midas, could you please grab the painting brushes? I happily nod at her. Sure thing. Doing as she says, by grabbing my stuff, she catches up to me, this time without the tray but with her knife in hand. Once we're back in her room, she picks up the knife I used and places both of them on her display rack. Afterwards, I hand her one capsule of black paint and one brush and we both take a seat. In this time I do realize that I have nothing to do as Yuri said she'd be painting something on there. Come on, there's gotta be something I can do. As I'm sitting and thinking, I'm also observing Yuri painting. Just by looking at a few letters, I'm noticing that this looks very similar to her handwriting when we were sharing poems. It's a little more fancier than usual. Fancy. Hey, that just might work. I know what I can do. What do you have in mind? She appears to be still focused on painting, but her tone of voice doesn't change at all. Well, you know how those gold frames on that paintings go on? They have a really fancy design etched into them? What if I were to try to paint something similar on the four corners of her banner? She stops painting once again and thinks to herself for a while. Sure, I don't see why not. Just nothing too gaudy, okay? Deal. I nod at her and she returns to whatever she was doing. Walking over to the side opposite to her, I prepare my paintbrush and paint and start working on one of the corners. And there we go. That's half of it done already. The paper definitely has a different feel to it, which took a little getting used to, but overall wasn't too bad. Keeping what Yuri said in mind, I decided to keep it simple and draw 2 diagonal lines and some stars on each corner. Trying to draw stars with a paintbrush is harder than I thought it would be, but I ended up getting it down eventually. Alright, halfway done. Yuri speaks up as I grab my stuff, walk over to the other side, and continue the task at hand. Midas, you say that like you're glad it's almost over. Was it wrong to assume that you were at least... What's happening? Time stops, the feeling of black paint all over my hand and the floor paralyzes me and sends shivers down my body. There's no comfort anymore. It's really bad, overwhelming, tingly, uncomfortable feeling and also guilt. I want to shake my hands so desperately to try to get the paint off, but that'll cause it to fly everywhere in the room. I can't but clench my teeth and close my eyes in discomfort. I did end up making a mess. She's not gonna be happy. This was a bad idea. I don't know what to do. I just want this to stop. Midas? I look over to her out of desperation and barely manage to speak up. Help, please. Once Yuri seems to realize what's going on, she gets up from her spot, grabs her bag and pulls out a few tissues. She rushes over to me, takes my paint-covered hand in hers with the tissues, brings me up from the ground with compliance, and takes me somewhat by force to her bathroom. Once inside, this bathroom is giving me so many memories. Once inside, she doesn't even bother closing the door. Instead, she turns to the faucet, which is set to hot water, removes the napkins from my hand and brings it under the water. Watching the paint being washed away and feeling of hot water is a little satisfying, which makes me feel a little more at ease. Not to mention the fact that she's holding her hand. But Yuri takes both of her hands and begins gently scrubbing mine as she's scrubbing her hand, trying to get all the paint off. She even goes far as to apply soap to mine and hers. Aww! Their sudden actions have taken me by shock. This feels different. This feels like when her hand was in mine 2 days ago, but this feels more pleasant. A helping hand. Or hands, I dare say. She looks over to me with a reassuring smile at least. I think and gives me a towel to dry off. By my hand maybe feeling a bit better, and the bad tingling sensations have mostly gone away, I still feel guilty about getting paint on the floor. There we go. Are you feeling any better now? I can't bring myself to answer that. All that's on my mind is the mess I made and also continuously scrubbing my already dry hands. I look down towards the ground out of inferiority. I'm sorry all about this. I didn't mean to make your room a mess. Her smile is replaced with a concerned look as she places one hand on my shoulder and looks at me. Midas, please not to try to worry about that. I'm not upset at all. We can clean it up together if that would make you feel better. Well, the thought of that does make me feel a little bit better, knowing that I'll be able to do my part to atone for my mishap. Okay, I would like that. Her smile makes a return. Then it's settled. Let's take care of this. Towel and both mine in her hand, we make our way back to her bedroom. After our attempt to clean up the paint on the floor, we each resume our respective painting. Cleaning up wasn't so bad. I feel really lucky that her floor wasn't stained as a result. I would have felt really bad if that happened. Only after drawing 2 diagonal lines on the banner, I can't help but look over to see what Yuri's painting. The Literature Club. Isn't that kind of basic? I mean, what else do we have in mind? I hope she has something else in mind. Oh well. After deciding to get back to work, it doesn't take long for something else to come to mind yet again. Hey, thanks for your help earlier. I'm feeling better, by the way. She looks over to me and smiles for I've lost track of how many times today. It's no problem. Besides, you said it best. It feels nice to help a friend out, so it only feels right. I can't help but smile at how cute she's being. Oh you, it's our turn to say that. There's an accomplishing feeling to it that I really enjoy. It makes me feel important. I can say the same. A certain someone told me recently to trust my instincts on whether something feels right or wrong. So I guess that played hand in hand. Literally hand in hand a little bit ago. That can be a coincidence that she said that. Also, how we're both able to work and talk at the same time is beyond me. Well, I don't know what I could have done without you. How funny would it have been if I was super glue instead and I was stuck there forever or something. I can't help but laugh over myself, over my own stupid humor, but Yuri isn't laughing. She's giving me that weird look from when I was holding her knife earlier, but it doesn't go away. You're so weird. I confidently nod at her. That's me. She giggles once again and we both resume putting the finishing touches on the banner. That ought to do it. I say that as I finish drawing the last star that I deem necessary. Yuri, on the other hand, looks like to be almost done. While I'm waiting for her to finish up, I take a step back to look at the banner as a whole, and I gotta admit, T-staining the paper was a pretty good idea. It almost looks like one of the most stereotypical treasure maps that are shown in pirate movies. Finished. Good. Now I can see the rest of what she wrote. A place to read, a place to write, a place to belong. Not bad. That turned out pretty well. I concur. Should we take care of it now? I start leaning towards the banner out of instinct. No, don't! Her sudden change in tone somehow manages to stop me in my What are we supposed to do, by the way? Should we take care of it? Oh, we're supposed to let it dry for a bit. Her sudden change in tone somehow manages to stop me in my tracks. The paint needs to dry first before anything. We should leave the banner here overnight. I then take a step away from our banner as if to not disturb it. Fair enough. Does it mean you'll be bringing it into school tomorrow? It only makes sense if I do. What about your door curtain? Oh yeah, those. Looking down to see my project from earlier still on the ground, I am surprised I didn't step on it and ruin anything. I can put it in my backpack and we can bring it with me tomorrow. Are you sure? I'm pretty sure I could fit those in my bag if we needed to. I mean, we very well could, but I want to do my part to help out. I insist. Please let me bring them for school tomorrow. Well, suit yourself. It looks like we're both finished, and there's nothing more for us to do. What do we do now? Come on, I'll walk you outside. Back in her living room after getting all of my stuff together, she stops just short of her front door. Oh Midas, that reminds me. Would you like to stay for dinner tonight? Yes! Oh man, that sounds like a great idea! If it's anything like what she brings into school, then it'll be great. Now that I think about it, I still haven't rolled anything for tomorrow. That seems a little more important. I'm sorry. Aww! I mean, they could just write it here. As much as I'd like to, I don't think I'll be able to. I still haven't wrote for tomorrow. She now looks just as disappointed as I am. Oh, that's a shame. But you're right, though. I, too, haven't written for tomorrow. Yikes. I'm certain there'll be a day where we can. I suppose. She opens her front door. I'll see you tomorrow? Right. Tomorrow. Wait. This isn't according to plan! I'm stuck in place with remembering what I ultimately wanted to accomplish today. Man, I can't believe I'm going through with this. I turn around so that I'm facing her. Yuri, what is it? I can feel my heart beating a little faster. Here we go! Could you please walk home with me? It's really important. Wait, wait. So, we're going to make Yuri walk with us home. And then we're gonna make her home. We're gonna go make her go home by herself. That seems a bit unethical. Unless we're gonna walk her home after we take her home. To our home, I mean. She stands there for a bit, lost in thought for Lord knows how long. Is it really that important? All I can do is nod at her. My emotions slowly starting to go rampage, leaves me unable to speak. Well, I suppose I can spend a little more time with you today. I'll trust your judgment. I can't tell whether she's teasing me or not, but that's not what matters right now. Here we go! Oh my goodness, here we go. I step outside of her house with her following me. Lead the way, please. Nodding once again as my feet is consistently inconsistent. We will begin the journey to my house. That felt like one of the longest walks I've ever had in my life. While the walk may have been silent between me and her, my mind was racing the entire time. It feels a little bit tiring, to be honest. But we made it, and I'm almost ready. And not ready for what's about to happen. I still can't believe Sayori talked me into this. At my door, while I'm unlocking it and opening it, Yuri speaks up. So what's so important that I needed to be brought here? I turned to face her again. It's becoming more difficult for my thoughts to be put into words. Please, just wait here real quick. I'll be right back. With that, I would quickly turn around and rush up to my room. Not long after, I returned to where she is, bag in hand. I can tell if I'm shaking or trembling over the fact that this is actually happening. She looks at me inquisitively. I got you something that I think you would like from when I was gone yesterday. From the manga nerves, he pulled the stuffed toy up and then presented to her. Ah! Her eyes light up as she lightly gasps when she sees. Gently taking it from me, she stares at it for a second and uses her right thumb to feel its texture. A genuine smile shows up as she closes her eyes and holds it close to her chest and neck. I can't help but smile at how happy she is right now. Thank you, Midas. I love it. I can't move. It's as if I'm stuck in this dreamlike stance. All I can do is nervously laugh at her. I thought you'd like it. I saw that one. It was a big red dog that I thought you'd like, but I remember you said that you really like elephants, so... How do I ask her the big question, though? Been very thoughtful, Midas. Yuri takes a step closer to me, grabs a hold of my hand, and briefly grasps it. I really like that about you. Time stops. Oh, my heartbeat increases. Life feels surreal. All these feelings I had back when I went to the lake by myself. I think they're starting to make more sense. It's all starting to come to me now. Yuri, there's so much I like about you. She seems slightly taken aback as our fingers mesh into perfect harmony, and my eyes meet hers. Here we go! I'm really happy with how close me and you have become ever since we first met. What I said 2 days ago about you being the most wonderful and beautiful person I've ever met still holds true to this day. I just feel honored to know someone like you. She doesn't seem to react. My grip on her slowly becomes tighter. I can't stop now! I really like being around you, talking to you, everything that we do in the club. This makes me all really happy, and I don't want it to stop here, so I take a second to try my hardest to think of what to say. I was wondering if we could be not only your date for the festival, but if I could be your... No! If I could be your princess! She stays silent for a while, but ends up laughing to herself. But why? Maybe because... Midas, I thought I was the girl here. To be fair, I misgendered this story's MC. This takes a while for me to realize what exactly I said. Both of us laughed. What happened? Both of us laughed over my mishap for a bit until Yuri snorts out of laughter and covers her face with both of her hands. I thought I was the girl who... Wait a minute! Another laughing fit ensues. Catching our breath takes a while, but when we're calmed down, both of us and time stop yet again. Yuri walks up to me, wraps her arm around me, and gently speaks into my ear. I do! I do! I can't! I'm lightly tearing up. This is adorable! Oh my goodness! All I can do is slightly hug her back and bury my head in her shoulder in response to her voice ringing through my whole body. A familiar yet welcoming lavender sound makes itself known upon embrace. Being in the arms of a princess absolutely feels surreal. I can't help but feel a spike of excitement after realizing how everything turned out. This is the best feeling in the world. Just knowing that she's mine and I'm hers now makes me never want this moment to end. I can only look up from here. I start gripping her back a little harder and breathing more slowly, as if to stay in this moment forever. Our embrace comes to an end as we both look at each other and take a hold of her hand this time, still blushing. Tomorrow's going to be the best festival ever. But we still have the right for it. Yeah, you're right. I should probably head home now. Okay. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Oh, she's sad. Go already. You first. I want to watch you till you're safe inside, okay? My blush increases. Okay then. Walking over to my door, I stop myself before opening slightly, take a deep breath and turn around to face Yuri. Thanks for having me, Yuri. I turn around, enter, close the door, all in less than a second. That is pretty much the only problem with this confession, but... it's adorable! Thank you. My dog! Oh, I can't! It's too cute! Oh jeez, my head hurts a lot after all that writing, but I finally got my poem for tomorrow. I can't speak. A while ago, I can't speak a while ago because, well, the thoughts in my head about how we're gonna confess, and then when we actually confessed, it was pretty... I don't know, I still don't kinda agree with the whole bringing the girl to your place and then sending her home alone, but it's so adorable, oh my goodness, I can't! I have a feeling that everyone will like it, especially Yuri. At one point in time during, she had texted me, telling me thanks for everything about the day, to which I replied basically the same thing. Laying my head down on my desk now, I relax for a bit and think about everything that happened today. The idea of writing to my parents to let them know that what's been going on comes to mind, and that doesn't sound really bad. Maybe I'll get around to that before bedtime. What? Huh? Oh, just my phone again. Quickly grabbing and typing my phone shows a text from Monica. What could she want? Hey Midas, I'm almost done making the pamphlets for the festival tomorrow. Could you send me the final draft of your poem for tomorrow so I can finish my job? Monica's making me really confused. Better text her back, I guess. Wait, so you want me to text you my entire poem? Well, I'm ready for a response to pull out a piece of paper. But the moment I put my pencil on the paper, my phone rings again. That was fast. That'd be great. We're using a flip phone. Oh boy, here goes nothing. Three minutes later, it's all sent over and my hands are tired. The phones are so weird when it comes to texting. I ended up having her to send her different messages to the 160 character limit. Wait, all phones used to have it. It's been so long since I've had my flip phone. After a while, she ends up texting me back. Wait, thanks again. Just so you know, I got the read Yuri's already and I like where things are going, winky face. Oh boy, does she know already? Probably not, but eventually she will. Disregarding my phone for now and grabbing my pencil, there's more important matters at hand. I can't wait to tell my friends about my new girlfriend! Girlfriend. The word just sounds and feels so much more pleasant now knowing who I'm associated with. I can't help but put a dumb smile as I begin writing to my parents. Dear Mom and Dad.